All right, we're now going to talk about our final payment here. So our final payment is going to be the sixth payment here. So can we all just write that in, that this is going to be our final payment? And this really gets to the very heart of what we're doing here. So let's just replay this all in our mind. You went to the bank and you borrowed this much money from the bank, $1,600. You now want to pay it off. You want to pay it all back so you don't have any money owing. Because at the moment, at the very start, you had $1,600 owing on this loan. When we come to our final payment now, we don't want any money owing on the loan anymore. We want to have zero money owing on it. So guess what? The first thing you get to do for your final payment is you get to just put a zero there. How easy is that? No thinking required. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to consider your principal reduction. Again, this will require very little thinking, because if your previous owing amount for the previous month was 273.73, your principal reduction will simply be getting that number to zero. So you're simply going to subtract it by itself. My principal number will be 273.73. Do you see how you simply had to write that same number again? How easy is that? The next thing you have to consider is the interest paid. And guess what? We do this exactly the same way that we've done it previously. We take the previous amount, so 273, so let me write this down, 273.73, and we need to find 1% of that. And that's going to be 274. All right, now here comes the thinking part. Can I get you all to put a box around the payment? The reason why final payments are a bit tricky is because the payment part is going to be a bit different to what we've previously seen. Because remember, we need to make sure that we hit zero here. So the payment that is going to live here is going to be a bit different to what we've previously seen. But let's not freak out. All you have to do is add together the interest that is generated in addition to the previous balance amount. So I need to say, all right, I need to pay back 273.73 because that's the amount owing from the previous month, plus the interest that is generated in this month. So let's write that down. We're going to have to write really small here, but we can do it. I'm going to come in here. We're going to have to write nice and small. You want to add together the interest and the the final balance. The final balance. So let's write that down. All right, so the interest was, I kind of remember, it was 274. And the other one, and we'll color code this in a moment, was 273.73. Colors here are important because they just help us understand what we're doing. That was the final balance. And then that was the interest. And that means my final answer here is going to be, drum roll, I might do this in, what color should we do it? Let's do it in red. So when I add those two numbers together, so I'm going to go 2.74, oh, if my calculator will work with me here, 2.74 plus 273.73 is going to be that. So my final payment will be 276.47. So as you can see, that's a little bit different to what we previously had. It looks like I've added on an extra 47 cents in order to get it down to the zero that we needed there. All right, perfect. Looks like everything just shifted a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Hopefully that made sense. That's the final payment, people. Can get a little tricky.